case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
A landmark case unfolded in the Supreme Court in 1979, United States v. Batchelder, which raised important questions about sentencing under dual penalty provisions for identical offenses. The legal quandary at the heart of this case was instigated when a convicted felon was found guilty of receiving a firearm that had moved in interstate commerce. The controversy stemmed from the intricacy of two laws, one providing a maximum 2-year imprisonment sentence and the other up to 5 years. Although he was convicted under the law of 5 years imprisonment, the defendant argued that he could only be sentenced under the more lenient provision. Previously, the Court of Appeals conceded to the defendant's argument, maintaining that the principle of lenity should permit the lesser punishment and ordering a resentencing. Consequently, the case was appealed, leading it to the highest court in the land. Upon examining the case, the Supreme Court took a different stance, deciphering that each criminal statute operates separately, and the defendant could be sentenced under the law bearing the harsher penalty. The court disputed the Court of Appeals' reliance on principles of statutory construction, stating there was no legal basis for one penalty provision to override the other. The court affirmed that Congress intended to establish 2 independent gun control statutes, each having its own distinct enforceability. In their final judgment, the Supreme Court proclaimed that the defendant had no constitutional rights to opt for their own punishment or choose between the applicable federal statutes upon which their indictment and prosecution would be grounded. They considered the criminal laws in question as clear-cut, thereby complying with the Due Process Clause to provide fair notice to an individual that their contemplated act is illegal. The court concluded that the statutes did not unlawfully delegate the legislature's role in setting criminal penalties to the executive branch, as it did not predetermine sanctions. Rather, it defined the range of potential penalties. Thus, the Supreme Court ended up reversing the judgment of the Court of Appeals, reinstating the original 5-year sentence and reinforcing important tenets of judicial jurisprudence.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.